All right, how you doing today? What we're gonna go over real fast are some hardwood cuttings that I rooted in a plant-based soil mix. Now, some cuttings, as I'm sure many people know, root very differently. Softwood cuttings tend to root in a week or two. Semi-hardwood cuttings maybe in about a month. But hardwood cuttings, especially from plants that grow slowly, like camellias, they don't grow very fast, so naturally they're not going to root very fast. If you use chemicals, sure they will, but not using any chemicals takes its time, maybe a few months, maybe even 5 months. But as you can see, got a camellia in here, got a spirea, I've got a Lady Banks rose. Now, all those are wonderful plants to have, and I'm not sure what kind of color the camellia is yet because I took a cutting from a big one and it wasn't in flower. So we'll see. But these have all been in here about 5 months. And the reason I haven't touched them yet is because I know how long it's going to take them to make those roots. A rose, that's probably the fastest rooting one out of all these here. Spirea also, definitely the slowest would be the camellia. Now, in order to have a good root system, this one, the rose, is definitely ready to come out and get potted up. Same with the spirea, maybe. See the new buds coming up. But the camellia, I may even leave in there for another 6 months. Because, sure, it may take a few months to start getting the roots, but it's going to take even more time to have an established root system. And that's why I'm not going to touch that one yet. I'm real excited that it's rooting, just that fact it rooted. So I definitely don't want to mess it up. So you can see the leaves are in here, and I'm going to let it go through the fall and the winter time just in this, and maybe I'll touch them in the springtime when they're ready to get potted up. But this is a very good example of how to deal with hardwood cuttings as opposed to softwood ones. A reason sometimes why I prefer to root in a plant-based soil mix is because it holds the right amount of moisture, but it's not too wet. Good example, you'll have a much higher success rate rooting a rosemary cutting that is like a mint shrub, subshrub. You'd have a much better job rooting it and success rate in the soil mix than you will water. Because, sometimes, like anything with the bark on a shrub or a stem, it takes longer for the roots to get through that as opposed to just a soft stem. So having rosemary in water for an extended amount of times, you have a higher rate of it rotting or going bad because it does take those roots extra time to get out. So that's one thing to keep in mind. With a plant-based soil mix, it can be in there a year and no harm is going to come to it. You can't leave a cutting in water for a year unless it's like from a sacred pink water lotus or something like that. So that's just something to keep in mind about how to deal with hardwood cuttings. And they are outside all year. They've been through the 24 degrees already. They've been through quite a bit. So not going to touch them. I'll see them in the springtime. If it gets below 10 degrees, maybe I'll protect them, maybe.